Glad to have you back. Let's continue. If you have followed all the advice leading up to this point, you are now arriving at Deception Pass, aware of the strength and direction of the current you will be facing during your trip through. You know the weather forecast and are prepared for the conditions you will face. You have plenty of fuel, and you have verified you have your safety gear on board and know where it is in case there is an emergency. All that is left to do is navigate through Deception Pass. During your trip through, here are some things you should pay special attention to. Deception Pass is a popular route, especially in summer. Be aware of other vessels and follow the right-of-way rules. If you are passing through at slack tide, you may encounter slower boats like sailboats or non-planning hull boats. Be considerate of these vessels. They have less power and maneuverability and need to make it through during the slack tide period. Also keep alert for any debris floating in the water. It is best to go through the pass on plane. This will give you maximum control of the boat and minimize the effect of the current on the boat as less of your hull is in the water. There is no need to go faster than the speed that keeps you on plane, but pay attention and be ready to adjust your throttle to maintain planing speed, as pushing into a strong current can slow the vessel's speed. Also pay close attention to your course, as currents and small whirlpools can push you off course a few degrees. Keep a firm grip on the wheel and make smooth, deliberate steering adjustments to maintain your course during the transit. Navigate towards the center of the pass to avoid shallow areas and rocky outcrops. This also gives you the most time to respond in the event of a mechanical failure. But as noted before, make sure you keep clear of other marine traffic. If you are approaching another vessel head-to-head, turn to the right to avoid a collision. As you transit Deception Pass, especially if you are going through during a large tidal exchange, watch how the land masses on the sides of the channel can create additional currents. Hoipas Point and Yokiko Point on the east side of the channel and Deception Island on the west side of the channel can create additional whirlpools and confuse waters as water finds its way around them. For all the talk, navigating Deception Pass isn't that difficult. It is 3/10 of a mile long, and at 20 miles per hour, it only takes about a minute to pass through it. Just remember to do proper planning and be extra alert and careful when you are in Deception Pass. This video footage used in the training were shot November 11th around noon. This day and time were purposefully chosen to go through during a heavy current to demonstrate it can be done. One condition that could make Deception Pass significantly more treacherous is a strong current running in the opposite direction of a strong wind. The friction of the wind over the water could create standing waves, which you need to navigate at slower speeds. And as you slow down, the winds and current will have more effect on your boat. Make sure you monitor the weather forecast so you can be aware of the possibility of this condition. Be alert for unforecasted winds in the channel. If you encounter stronger than expected conditions and start to feel unsafe, turning around and attempting to pass through at a later time is a great choice. You might look at Canoe Pass to the north of the main channel on a chart or in your navigation app and think you could go through it, but it is aptly named and a good choice for canoes and kayaks, but a poor choice for boats. The narrower the channel, the faster the current flows through it, and given the very limited width, there is little room to maneuver in it. Going through a channel this narrow on plane could be dangerous, especially if you encounter paddle-powered vessels in such tight quarters. Please stick to the main channel. Keep a constant lookout for obstacles, other vessels, and any unexpected changes in the water's movements, especially around the areas mentioned before that can create small whirlpools and other confused currents. While it isn't always the prudent thing to do, what if you need to make an emergency maneuver while in the middle of the pass? I'll show you a little outtake from our video shoot. During one of the trips through, the drone stopped responding and you can see our photo boat enter the video, then perform a 180-degree turn to return for it during the strong current. In this instance, the vessel is heading into the current, and you can see once the current catches the bow how quickly the boat turns to the left. If you had an emergency like a man overboard while in Deception Pass, stay calm and alert for other traffic, but as this video demonstrates, you can turn around if you need to. If you are recovering a person or item that fell off the boat, you may need to use the ability to ferry the boat by putting the bow into the current, then angling the bow about 30 degrees from the direction of the current and sliding sideways to help recover the item. Use just enough throttle to keep the boat from being pushed backwards by the current. Exiting Deception Pass still requires a high level of caution and awareness. As you exit Deception Pass, watch for oncoming traffic entering from the other direction or any vessels you may be overtaking. While you are the stand-on vessel, if being overtaken, it is important to know if a boat is approaching you from behind. Continuously monitor the weather and water conditions as you head out into open waters. This is an area that can produce thick fog, so be prepared to encounter limited visibility. Take a moment to review your journey. Note any challenges you faced and how you can improve for next time. Here are some final things to remember when planning a trip to San Juan Islands. When driving a Freedom Boat Club vessel, you cannot operate in the Strait of Juan de Fuca. Please do not drive north of Point Wilson, just north of Port Townsend on the east side of Whidbey Island. You need to stay on the west side of Whidbey Island and either go through Deception Pass or take the Swinomish Channel up the east side of Fidalgo Island. The Strait of Juan de Fuca can be an incredibly dangerous body of water, and the Freedom Boat Club insurance does not cover our vessels in the area. Any expenses from an incident that occurred to one of our vessels in this area would fall entirely on the operator to cover. And a complete loss from an event like sinking a vessel is a distinct possibility. If you choose to take the Swinomish Channel instead of Deception Pass, please do some research before using that route. Make sure to pay very close attention to the channel markers and do not leave the marked channel. Pay attention when creating automatic routes with navigation software, because it will often route you through the Strait of Juan de Fuca and you will need to manually adjust the route. Make sure you stay to the west of Camano Island. You cannot pass between the mainland and the east side of Camano Island. Once you are north of Camano Island, pay close attention to the marked channel. Skagit Bay looks like a huge open body of water, but it is very shallow. Just to the east of the channel, the chart shows dark blue, which is 0 to 6 feet of depth at a zero tide. The rest of the bay is green, and you learned in the new member orientation you should never drive a boat over an area that is green on the nautical chart. It is uncharted for depth and hazards and is exposed land during low tides. When you reach the San Juan Islands, you cannot enter Canadian waters in a Freedom Boat Club vessel. Thank you for watching. I hope you have found this video to be informative and helpful for planning and navigating through Deception Pass. By following these steps, you'll ensure a safe and enjoyable passage. Remember, preparation and vigilance are your best tools for navigating these waters. Please boat safely, and remember, life is better on the water. Well, not as... Oh.
I'm not.
Does it need a break?
Yeah.
Okay. During one of the trips through, the drone, the drone. Sorry, I'm trying to just read it naturally, but it is important to know if a boat is approaching from behind, approaching you from behind.
Yeah.
If you need to make an emergency, okay, that's a question. Okay.